here, and this is very helpful.
I think
No, it is. And tomorrow I'll take my granddaughters up to see some Eagles and Carpentersville.
Oh, very nice.
Hello, everybody. The time is 10:16. I'd like to call the Jobs Committee to order on this beautiful Friday, February the 19th of 2021. Let's go ahead and do roll call.
Ford.
Here.
Weber.
Present?
Davis. Iqbal.
Iqbal present.
Hopi. Lewis.
Lewis here.
Molina.
Molina present.
Hurod. And Shepro.
Davis present.
Thank you.
Okay, great. We have a quorum. Can I please have an approval of minutes from the January 15th meeting?
Molina moves.
So moved by Molina. Can I have a second?
Ford second.
Davis second.
Ford seconds. Let's do roll call to approval.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Hopi. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes. Next up, we have a financial report from OCR. Maria Gonzalez or Scott Berger is on the phone.
Good morning, Mr. Weber. This is Scott Berger. And yes, I do have Maria Gonzalez with me today and would be happy to turn it over to her to give a financial report. I do want to give you a very brief verbal performance report for our workforce development program before I turn it over to her, however.
Thank you.
At this time, we have just passed the halfway point for our program year. You'll recall that our program year for workforce development begins July 1 and runs through June 30th. Also, you'll remember that our program serves a 3-county area. And you'll also recall that generally speaking, our program is a bundle of 3 programs, one that serves the adult population, one that serves dislocated workers, and a 3rd one that serves the youth. So very briefly, I'd like to just give you a status report regarding the performance of our program. Now that we are about 62% of the way through the year, I'm happy to report that our enrollment snapshot is beyond that point. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule with all 3 of our funding streams coming in at between 74 and 79% of our annual goal. We have a total goal for service of just over 1,400 individuals. And currently our enrollment snapshot has just shy of 1,100 enrolled in the program. So we're not quite to the 75% completion mark for our program year, and yet our enrollment figures are right around that amount at 77% in all. About 59-60% of those clients are from your county. So the Kane County is the largest of the 3 counties, obviously, and naturally will have larger service numbers from Kane. About half of our enrolled individuals are in training right now, which represents 91% of our annual goal. Again, that's well beyond our 62% completion mark right now. And then finally, I'd like to just let you know regarding the more popular and in-demand areas of training, we have transportation, healthcare, and IT individuals pursuing careers in those pathways. Those represent the 3 largest categories for our adult and dislocated worker population. When it comes to our youth, the majority are enrolled in healthcare related fields. Here we are in the middle of a pandemic, obviously, and so healthcare is top of mind, and I think that the youth are seeing that as a viable career path for them. So later today, I will wrap all this up into a spreadsheet and be happy to email this to you so you have kind of a snapshot view of where we are. But that gives you an idea of where we are in terms of our enrollments. Things look good in that regard. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Maria to give you a snapshot regarding the financial component of our program.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Scott. Go ahead, Maria.
Good morning, thank you. Starting on page 2 of your packet, you'll see the brief summary of the reports that are attached. We are, like as Scott said, in the halfway point of expenditures that have been reported to the state. We, through December 31, continue to report expenditures in our carry-in grant. And that kind of affects our new grant in that you'll see we should be hitting at 40% of our obligations and our expenditures through 12/31 of our new grant, and we're running low. And it's attributed to the fact that we had the carry-in that we had to work through because we have until June 30th to fully spend down this grant, or else we get the funds taken away. So in accounting land, it's, you spend the first funds that come in and then move forward. On a positive note, our training benchmark is still above the 50% mark, and that is because of the activity that just keeps flowing and flowing. Every week it seems like there is more ITA vouchers that are coming in from the program team, so they have been working tremendously amidst the pandemic, thinking outside the box and still serving the customers that are in need within the 3-county area. If you go to pages 2 through 4, that is the detail report that feeds into your summary report for the WIOA 19. On the WIOA 20, which is the page 7 of your packet, you'll note that we are now, as the carry-in is finished, we are now fully reporting expenditures and obligations to this grant. So as you see on the bottom half, there's the financial benchmarks of this grant, and you'll see that the obligation is at 24% and 28% for adult and dislocated respectively, where we should be at 40%. Again, now that we have fully worked through the carry-in, these numbers should start to rise. I think we're still going to be a little behind, but at the rate the momentum is going, I am very hopeful that we'll start trickle up, to get closer to where we need to be. On the youth side, there really isn't an issue there in terms of where the obligation is tracking. Then you'll also see that we have 2 other percentages there that talk about the youth out of school and the work-based learning percentages. Within our funding stream for youth, 75% of that should be towards the youth out of school participants. These benchmarks are not required to be met until the end of the 2-year grant cycle. Pages 8 and 9 are the detail reports for the WIOA 20 grant. We still have not received the executed grant agreement for the trade. I know that's in the works in terms of the program team is working with the state to finalize all of that. And on the statewide rapid response report, we still have the funding for that. I haven't received the necessary reimbursement request to start drawing the funds for that. Are there any questions?
Any of the committee members have any questions for Maria in regards to the financials? No. Before we move on, I just want to say that I appreciate Scott and Maria. There's been a lot of discussions, over the past couple months on just kind of making some adjustments to the program. So I appreciate everyone being able to adapt, acknowledging that there was some adjustments that needed to be made, and I can see that those are beginning to happen. So let's continue to work together, have good dialogue, and keep growing this program. I believe I do have one question. Madam Chair, go ahead.
Thank you so much. This is for Scott. Scott, you mentioned the adult job, Transportation Health Department and IT. Does that include dislocated workers?
Yes, that's both adult and dislocated workers.
And one more question to clarify, does transportation also include logistics?
Yes, it does. However, primarily those individuals in the transportation category are seeking CDL certification to become truck drivers. Believe it or not, that is a very much an in-demand area for our geographic region within the country, that we continue to see strong demand in the truck driving category. So overwhelmingly, that's the career path that those individuals are choosing.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All righty. We are now going to be moving on to, we have 3 presentations today. I would like to allow all presentations, after each presentation, we can ask questions. So just jot down questions that you have while the presentation's getting done and then ask after the presentation. I don't want the presenters to be interrupted. Just let them flow through and then we'll ask after. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Dr. Christine Sobek from Waubonsee Community College. You have the floor, Dr. Sobek.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for inviting us to be part of the Jobs Committee this morning. We're very excited to be here. As was stated, I'm Dr. Christine Sobek, President of Waubonsee Community College, and I have 2 additional presenters with me this morning. Dr. Diane Nyhammer, who serves as our Vice President of Educational Affairs, and then also Dr. Kathleen Gorski, our Dean for Learning Outcomes, Curriculum, and Program Development. So Kathleen is going to do the bulk of the presentation this morning. She wears many hats at the college, as you can tell from her job title, Outcomes, Curriculum, and Program Development. One of the key roles she plays at the college is to be constantly doing labor market analysis and research to determine what new programs, certificates, job training, et cetera, the college needs to embark on. So I think she has a very exciting presentation for you this morning because we've been looking at the cannabis industry, of course, from the jobs perspective and the educational and training. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen, and then both Dr. Nyhammer and I, of course, are here this morning too, in case there are any other questions that you may have of us or larger questions. So again, thank you so much for inviting us today. And if it's okay with the chair, I will turn it over to Dr. Gorski.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, everyone. I am excited to share what Waubonsee has been doing around the cannabis career. And I'm going to just share my screen so you can see my presentation. I just have to get to the right view here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the cannabis industry and the projected growth that we have for the industry. You can see that the state of Illinois, which we had only medical adult use cannabis in 2018 was 9.8 billion. You can see the forecasted growth by 2024 is increasing substantially. And so are the jobs. Since 2017, it has averaged 27.5 growth each year. And you can see the tax revenue has increased substantially as well. So industry projections, prior to January, there were 5,800 cannabis jobs, and we've already added over 8,300 jobs in 2020. The creation is actually considering 63,000 additional positions by 2025. And you can see the anticipated tax revenue, and we have actual numbers from 2020 of $170 million in tax revenues, and our sales are over $1 billion. I just want to point out some national considerations for you about the cannabis industry. There are 35 states that allow the legal adult that have approved for medical use, and then there's 15 states that are allowing for the legal adult recreational use of cannabis. And we just need to be careful with cannabis because public policy is changing constantly, especially around the medical area as new discoveries happen. Marijuana is actually still considered a controlled substance federally. So we need to take that in consideration. When it's legal in a state, it is still not legal federally. And again, the FDA continues to evaluate changes, and this does affect our marketing and export rules. Just want to do a little overview of some of the cannabis terms. And cannabis is a broad term that actually means both hemp and marijuana. So I think you all may have heard of THC, and THC is actually the chemical that is responsible for the intoxicating effects of marijuana. Hemp is also cannabis, and hemp, it just has the lower dose of the THC. So when we're talking about the intoxicating effects, it would be marijuana that we're talking about. A cannabinoid. So each cannabis plant actually has over 110 cannabinoids present, and these are just all naturally occurring. And so when you are in the cannabis industry, they may talk about different strands, and this is based on the cannabinoids. And I think we've also heard about CBD oil. And again, CBD oil is based on the cannabinoids found in the plant. And let's now talk about the careers. And there's really two careers when you're talking about cannabis industry. One is a plant touching career and one is ancillary. So that's pretty self-explanatory. There's actually the careers that are touching the plants. And you can see some of the titles here that are involved with the actual plant. So you can see it goes everywhere from breeders to transportation and logistics. And then the ancillary careers are all the companies that support the industry. And I just want to note that I did attend a cannabis career fair at Oakton Community College fall of 2019 and had the opportunity to really hear from some of the industry leaders and workers in cannabis in the area. And what we're hearing is there's just so many roles of current positions that people have the skills needed for the cannabis industry, and they're just going into the cannabis industry. For example, one of the presenters was a former Foot Locker manager and is now a dispensary manager. So a lot of the skills needed in the industry are existing skills: marketing, human resources, lawyers, accountants. So there is a lot of transferability in terms of current skills into the industry. Here's a few of the career titles that we're seeing, and it gives you just an overview of the salaries that can be expected in the industry. And I actually took a look at Kane County to see what was currently in Indeed for jobs, and there were there were 39 postings on Indeed for cannabis industry jobs, and these are the jobs that were posted. So I just wanted to share with you that there are in Kane County cannabis industry jobs. And let's talk a little bit about what Waubonsie is doing. Part of the Cannabis Career Tax Act, there is a cannabis career program with the state of Illinois, and we have applied for that. We're also considering some non-credit coursework and certificates for dispensary courses. And currently we have offered a few courses for the workplace. These were more day programs on cannabis in the workplace, and then also reasonable suspicion in the workplace. And just to talk a little bit more about the vocational pilot program, this is with the state of Illinois, and they are going to be awarding 8 community college grants to basically be part of this program. What this allows, it actually allows for the community college that are selected to actually use marijuana on their campuses. Originally, we were supposed to hear, we applied by July 20th, and we were originally supposed to hear by this fall, but unfortunately with the pandemic, it has been postponed. So we're still watching and anticipate hearing soon. So I just wanted to point out some of the factors in the application. Really, the state is looking for some geographical diversity. They wanted a clear curriculum plan. They wanted to make sure that we had expertise in the area. And 5 of the licenses will go to low-income populations, community college with low-income populations. They want to make sure we have the proper security members in place. Security is regulated, and there is a lot more security restrictions for dispensaries and then also cultivation centers where the plants are grown typically indoors. And then also they wanted to make sure that we had placement available for students. So to prepare for this application, we had a brainstorming session with industry, and we had industry come in from a company called Justice Grown, and we also had a lead scientist from a lab in Sugar Grove that currently processes marijuana plants, including our faculty member experts in the sciences, and they helped us put together curriculum and really explore the cannabis industry. So when we met and talk with the industry and our faculty, these are the key core competencies that the industry is looking for a program in cannabis. See, it goes into history, but then also plant science, hospitality, marketing, patient care, law, regulation. So we actually put together some preliminary non-credit certificate programs, and this one is a potential dispensary certificate program that we're looking into. And then we're also considering opening our laboratory tech program. Again, I just want to emphasize that there's a lot of current careers. Laboratory tech associate's degree actually provides the same skills needed for a variety of different careers in laboratory tech, including marijuana. So right now our next steps is we're currently looking into our non-credit dispensary option. We are in the process of reopening our laboratory tech associate of applied science degree, and we are going to still process it whether or not we get the pilot program, because we can also run this program with hemp and still support the cannabis career that way if we can't have marijuana on the campus. So we anticipate hearing from the state soon, but these are right now what we're working on at Waubonsie to support the industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a couple questions for you. Tell me on the application process for Waubonsie to be able to do this program. I would imagine that the state would like the county to have some kind of a resolution that says that we will support, help, have a cultivation center in Kane County, which we currently we did not pass a resolution approving that. Right now, we currently just have dispensaries. Will that affect your getting approval from the state?
So on the state application, there was a very thorough security measure, and it really was, it shouldn't affect the application because it's really in the confines of Waubonsie Community College. And we were required to be very specific on where the marijuana would be held, secured, locked, and cameras on it. So actually it was really just for the community college, and it did not really go into detail about the counties surrounding the community college in terms of if or not we could get the application or receive this grant. It was really more about being on Waubonsie's campus and extreme security measures to make sure it was safe for everyone.
Okay, that's good. I was referring more towards the job placement part of it after the fact, like because we don't have any cultivation or craft grows in Kane County. So is that a deterrent for you guys getting accredited to be able to do this?
Well, we do have to have a plan for employment for the students. With the lab tech program, there is a lab in Sugar Grove. And so we have been working to build relationships with the lab in Sugar Grove. So that is an option. And then there are other counties that do have some facilities in Waubonsie's district that we would need to work with. So I don't believe it would be a deterrent, although it would be helpful, to have more placement for our students.
That's the key word, helpful. We could help. We need to help each other, right? Is there any other questions from the committee on this? Go ahead, Ms. Molina.
Thank you. Good morning. As a Waubonsie alumni, I'm happy to see this as a program available to our students hopefully soon. Could you tell me how many other community colleges in the state of Illinois are currently have the accreditation for this type of program?
So there's very few actually. Oakton Community College is, as far as I know right now, the only community college that has a program. They have a dispensary program, and they have been very helpful to us as we're learning to work with this type of program. Other community colleges are looking into this as well. And I know just from some of my meetings with state and other community colleges, many have applied for this, but we're still waiting to hear. So really Oakton Community College right now is one of the few that I'm aware of that has a program.
Thank you.
I wanted to add that, of course, we won't know until the state approves or not, but we felt that we had a unique aspect because we have the state-of-the-art lab technology program and space. And so, Kathleen, you may jump in here, but a lot of the other schools were looking at the dispensary kind of retail ancillary part of it. And it takes a lot of equipment and a lot of quality control to do the science part of it. And that's why, again, we're keeping our fingers crossed that we thought our approach and our ability to have these facilities literally up and running and ready to go, hopefully will give us an edge to get our program approved. So I did want to stress that that's kind of the real specialty area that we think we could really, really be great at and maybe be a leader in the state on that. The science of it, the quality control, the lab tech facilities that we already have.
Very, very good to note, Dr. Sobek. The three real areas too with the plant touching is you do have more of your agriculture. So I have heard with the state, a lot of community colleges might be going the agriculture growing route and many more going the dispensary route. And the lab tech route is really our niche. We have a state-of-the-art lab that actually industry, when they came to visit, was extremely impressed and was interested in sending students to our lab to finish classes. So yes, we are very hopeful so that we can use our lab.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Is there any other questions in regards to that presentation? Go ahead, Commissioner Sanchez.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank you and Waubonsee College for putting this program together. I think a lot of people look at cannabis as drugs and drugs are bad and that's it. You guys are taking this very seriously. It's a legitimate product category. It's a legitimate type of business. And it's really good to see this. I'm up more by ECC, so I'm hoping that they're going to be hot on your trails, putting some of this programming together. But again, thank you for taking this issue seriously and providing this job building opportunity to residents.
I have a question, please, Commissioner Member Bates.
One second, Bates. Go ahead, Commissioner Molina.
Thank you. Another question that just popped in my head was regarding financial aid. Because it's because marijuana and cannabis isn't approved governmental, the U.S. government doesn't approve the use of it. How does the financial aid affect students who are looking to get accredited under this type of program, or does it affect them?
So right now the state is looking into this for special permissions with the state. So I don't have the exact details, but I know this was addressed.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bates.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sobek. Thank you, Dr. Gorski, and hello, Dr. Nyhammer. My question is, because Kane County has such a rural and agricultural culture, will Waubonsee be looking into the agricultural aspects of marijuana, of cannabis?
Right now, we're going to focus on the lab aspects, but we have been looking into other types of agriculture programs as well. Actually, what we've learned from the industry is the same growing techniques of a tomato plant is the same as a cannabis plant. So there's, again, so many similarities with what we're already doing in other areas that apply to the cannabis careers and industry.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Excuse me?
Yes, go ahead, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Just clarification, I believe that Illinois Valley Community College also has a program for its agricultural development of cannabis. So that may be a nice relationship that you can have because it's not too far away.
We will definitely reach out. Thank you for that information.
Is there any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Mr. Iqbal.
Yes. Yeah, I want to thank Dr. Sobek and her team for joining us today. It was me who contacted your office and I spoke with Mary, and I thank Mary for her hard work. Actually, I learned a lot from this presentation. During the process, I called Dr. Sam also at ECC, and he was very complimentary for your program that you took the lead. When the question was asked which colleges are doing it, what I learned from Dr. Sam is that the colleges don't want to cannibalize each other, don't want to have the same program and crowd the area. So it's good that Waubonsee is doing so Elgin can concentrate on something else. I thank you and I appreciate very much. Thank you.
Is that it for the presentations then in regards to cannabis? Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for presenting today. I definitely think that it's something that we as a county need to pursue because there is a lot of jobs that are going to be needed in this emerging industry. So we appreciate you presenting. And we'll support you and try to find a way to grow the industry more in Kane County too, to help with your program. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And did we send a copy of the PowerPoint ahead of time, or is that something you would like?
Yes, please.
Okay, Kathleen, Dr. Gorski will follow up on that. Again, thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure to be with you all virtually this morning. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along, we have B, the Career and Technical Education Month Program Highlights. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you very much. So as some of you may know, that February is Career and Technical Education Awareness Month, which celebrates the education of a wide range of career-specific skills that help students prepare for the workforce. The King County ROE is putting a special emphasis this month on the career and technical education programs that directly prepare students for high wage and high demand careers. I was excited to hear that data from Scott because the transportation, healthcare, and IT programs are covered under what they're talking about with the CTE. It covers many fields, including healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, hospitality, management, and I could go on and on. But again, like most programs, it's gone virtual this year. So they've been highlighting videos once a week on social media. I'd like to share one of those with you today. The one that covers agricultural, food and natural resources and culinary programs. As timing tends to work with me, of course, the one that I wanted to share with manufacturing will be next Monday. So let's watch this video and get prepared because I want to make sure that we can highlight these education programs going on in Kane County. It's about a 4-minute video. Thank you very much, Blair. And while we're waiting for the video, just the previous videos that have happened so far this month is also finance, business services, and IT, health sciences, human services, law, public safety, and education. And next Tuesday will be the last video, which will be STEM, manufacturing, transportation, trades, and counselors. Again, this is just something our regional office is educating. Office of Education has put together with students, teachers, and other people involved in the private sector.
Culinary classes at East has been very good. All of the classes I took from culinary 2 and 3, and now restaurant management 1 and 2 were fun, and I feel like I learned a lot. I grew a bond with people from the
Yep. That's okay. Well, if we can't watch the video, I just want to continue to promote it. Also, each week there has been articles on Kane County Connects, again, just highlighting the videos, the topics covered, and other information with the highlights for CTE month. It's good because, you know, October is manufacturing month. Now we have CTE month. I assume as we go on through the months, we'll find out about more and more education and career highlights that we can share throughout the year. I will continue to share those with the Kane County Board Jobs Committee. And also on the different King County articles, you can find different references and links to all the programs connected with CTE month. With that, I can take any questions.
Do we have any questions from the committee in regards to this? No, thank you very much. Thank you. Moving along, we have part C, staff updates for economic development initiatives.
Sure. I just, Mark has some informational items. I just wanted to share our update with our unemployment numbers. With the change in administration, we're starting to see a little bit of a longer lag time in terms of our official unemployment numbers. So Kane County's December unemployment number from 2020 was 6.6%, which was actually up from 6.2% in November. But we still beat Illinois in December, which Illinois had a 7.5% unemployment rate, which went up a full percentage point from the month prior as well. Good news is in January, The USA unemployment number right now is sitting at 6.3%, which was down about 0.4%. A lot of the news recently has been a lot of numbers changing down. I expect to see a little bit of a higher unemployment number currently, but with the change in administration, change in policy, it's taking longer for numbers to get out in revisions. So we'll just keep you updated as they come.
I have a question. if I
Go ahead,
may.
Madam Chair. Sure.
6.6 in December, that's people who are actively looking for jobs. What about those individuals? What's the real count? Because I know the real count of people who have stopped working or decided they could not find a job for whatever reasons, childcare, COVID-related transportation issues. What's the real number? Do you know it?
I don't have that real number with me. I tend to follow the Federal Reserve statistics, which are only follow the numbers which you spoke of the people who are active searching. You know,
Can you find that number for us and send it to the committee?
absolutely.
Because that's the unemployed number that we really wanted to start drilling down into and see with workforce development and other opportunities that we can start reaching out to them.
So for the actual number, you would like the unemployed, the underemployed, the searching, and the not searching?
Correct.
Absolutely.
And there's also a lot of gig workers that may not be considered as part of the employment range.
Yeah, and I am monitoring the situation in California with the passing of Prop 22, which was the change in gig worker status. For those who are unaware, for Proposal 22, which passed as a ballot measure in California, it did continue the contractor status for Uber and Lyft drivers, which means that they can be working contractually and not receive benefits. Other states, I haven't heard Illinois officially say anything, but we are monitoring that because it's a very big shift in employment policy that could trickle down to other states. But yeah, with the gig economy, we're trying to keep those unemployment numbers because it's really a different subset because of how it works with contractual hours versus non-contractual hours that could trickle down to other states. But yeah, with the gig economy, we're trying to keep those unemployment numbers because it's really a different subset because of how it works with contractual hours versus non-contractual hours that could trickle down to other states.
It's recording.
Awesome. Oh, the glitch in the matrix. All right. But yeah, and that is something I would like to continue to monitor and try to update and bring that information because that could have an effect on our numbers. I don't have any comments towards it, but you know that's the modernization of employment. California is very progressive, so to see them and how they fold out is I'd like to share some of that information as they roll out over the next year.
And to drill down a little bit more on your data research, can you also put it by zip code so that we have an idea of where that poverty rate would be if we're going to be focusing our efforts on whether healthcare, job development, rent relief? We know where the pockets are.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, thank you.
Let's go for it. It's 4 minutes long. Let's do it.
Thank you. The mute's on the YouTube.
My experience with the culinary classes at East has been very good. All of the classes I took from Culinary 1, 2, and 3, and now Restaurant Management 1 and 2 were fun, and I feel like I learned a lot. I grew a bond with people from the classes, and I love being able to cook and have fun with them. The labs we did were amazing, and it taught us many skills like how to make bread from scratch or making our own pasta. We got to work on our time management, teamwork, and even leadership. Thanks to Brooke, we have 3 relatives she has molded, and now they're pursuing degrees in agriculture and are looking forward to their careers after college. And these are only 3 of the many Brooke has mentored into the agriculture world. There are so many more students pursuing agriculture because of Brooke. Having the opportunity to take culinary classes at Batavia High School sparked my love for foods and nutrition. My desire to work with children led to my decision to pursue education in family and consumer sciences. This program holds fond memories from my high school years that I hope to continue to offer to students. For the final project, an introduction to culinary arts, students were required to prepare a meal for the members of their household. This required the ability to scale recipes, read and interpret recipes, measure correction, use knife skills, use at least 2 cooking methods along with baking a quick bread, and follow sanitary and safety guidelines.
Number 1 is what I'm going to do is grab a plate and prep it. So I'm going to scrape off all the food. And then number 2 is to turn on your hot water and to fill a thin layer of soapy water on the bottom of your sink. 3 is to wash and scrub the dish under the water. Step 4 is to rinse it with the hot water. Make sure you get both sides. And then number 5 is I can either put it in my dish drain or I'm just going to use a clean kitchen towel and dry it off and then put it away.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say thank you, Blair, for getting that up. And also, if you can see in the bottom, and don't worry about it, Blair, it's only got 173 views. So if you have the opportunity, please share it with other people just to let other officials and other people in the county know that we are working to educate our students locally with the programs for jobs locally so we can keep them here in King County. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to share it with my 3 children, the dishwashing skill. That'd be a good one. All right, thank you. In regards to new business, I mean, we don't have any formal new business.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment, Ms. Bates?
Yes, go ahead, Mrs. Bates.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before we go past that video, as chairman of the Aurora Green Fest, 1 or 2 years we had the East Aurora culinary team come to the Aurora Green Fest. And those kids were fabulous. And the skills they were learning included sales and leadership and organization and cooking. So these programs are fantastic for these students. And I hope they continue and thrive.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Bates. No, and I like the fact that, the more programs there is out there that show that there's different career paths other than, your traditional just going to a college is better, because that's not for everyone. But until these kids can experience different occupational skills, they don't know what they might enjoy that, but it's got to be put in front of them. So I would agree with that 100%. Thank you. So in regards to new business, like I said, I have nothing formal to present, but I want to say that using the Waubonsie Valley College presentation in regards to cannabis careers, we need to use that as a catalyst to try to get some legislation, some resolution going to where it can go to development and move on to where, we can have discussions about creating a program and support, cannabis within the county, so that if Wabansie Valley has a program, they have somewhere to place the students that are participating in that program. So I would like staff to help create something to move it along. I know I'm going to talk about it in the committee of the whole, but I want everyone here to be of the same mindset that this is something that we need to get behind, and hopefully the county can support something. I don't know of any public comment. I haven't seen any questions. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
If you will, I just have 4 quick updates on the economic development initiatives. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Great. One, just I'm participating in the regional recovery effort on behalf of the county under the economic development track. This is headed up by CMAP in partnership with Choose Chicago. And one of the focuses in terms of what are the gaps to address moving ahead, one of them, we've known this gap for a while, and that's a regional marketing approach. So I'm also going to be attending a follow-up meeting via Zoom next week to begin to talk about what the other partners in the region already have put together. Obviously, big organizations like World Business Chicago kind of market the region, but not completely. So looking at how that can move ahead so that all the assets in the region, including the ones in Kane County and Will County, McHenry County, are included in their overall marketing. The other, some of our partners that we work with on tracking and want to help get their word out and amplify what they're doing. One is IMEC, the Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Center. They have a big marketing push out right now. They have using CARES Act funding. I think they're getting either through the federal government or the state for what they're calling their Move Ahead Faster program. And that's manufacturers can apply into 6 different categories of assistance. That's a value of $5,000 that they don't have to pay for. They apply, IMEC provides it, everything from keeping workers safe to being cyber ready to growing their sales. So there's sort of a suite of things that they can sign up to do. The other one is our Illinois Manufacturing Association. Chris talked about it last month. They're doing their Maker Madness, which is in the spirit of the NCAA March Madness. At least one of our local companies is in the brackets, Bison Gear in St. Charles, and we're trying to find out what other Kane County companies may be in their bracket so we can help get some votes their way. And then finally, for those of you who are on the Ag Committee are already aware of this crossover initiative, and that is we're using a grant from Compeer Financial for giving farmer mini grants for our food growers. So we, the Ag Committee earlier this week, actually just yesterday, approved round 2 and an additional 12 applicants. And we're actually going to be doing a round 3 as well. But these are just phenomenal local businesses that are creating healthy food, sustainable ways, getting it right into our population. And we're excited about that program. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions for Mark? Anyone in person or on the phone? All righty, seeing none. I am going to ask for a motion to place the reports on file.
Ron Ford.
So moved by Mr. Ford, seconded by Commissioner Molina. Can I please have a roll call vote for that?
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes. We have no need for executive session, so I would like a motion to adjourn. So
Davis
moved
moves.
by Davos, seconded by
Ford.
Mr. Ford. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.